Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's the Man Child. Alright, so today after review, gonna finally get a chance to go over my Pacific Rim Crimson Typhoon Jaeger from Ling Jihun Toys, I guess, which I never heard of before, to be honest. So, yeah, I absolutely love the first Pacific Rim movie. NECA made a lot of the Mont Jaegers and Kaiju, which I pretty much have all of them. They did make a Crimson Typhoon, which is like part of Series 1. It was okay, but it wasn't great. And as their series evolved, they got a little better. Figures like Eureka Striker, they made like a 2.0 and whatnot. So I was hoping that when NEC was making a series at the time, which was years ago already, I was hoping they would make a better version of the Crimson Typhoon or a 18-inch version, which they never got to. So I started searching the internet a little bit, seeing what's out there, and Diamond Select also made some Pacific Rim toys, but they were more from the second movie. And I was hoping someone would make a better version of the Crimson Typhoon or NECA at some point. And yeah, I stumbled upon like Big Bad Toy Store, and they had this for pre-order from that Ling Jihun company. So I looked at it, I go, man, that looks incredible. That's exactly what I want. Because this, I got to say, in the first film, Crimson Typhoon was probably my favorite Jaeger, and he had very little screen time. He got killed out in the water when he was fighting alongside, I think, with Eureka Striker and whatnot. But look at this. So yeah, I finally got it in. I thought the pre-orders were also canceled. I didn't know what was going on with this because I pre-ordered a year back or something like that. And next thing I know, it's shipped, and here he is. And now here's a quick look at the picture illustrations on the back of the box. So yeah, take note how cool the overall paint apps and decals are applied on this particular figure, at least from the illustrations. They look great. I can't wait to get them in a box. I believe the top of the head also lights up, so it comes with some LEDs and I think batteries as well. And then dropping down as far as accessories, so we get the blast boosters or blast effects that will plug onto the back of the jetpacks. And then my favorite part of this figure, aside the lights, the paint apps and all that good stuff, is that he comes with the blades that was also shown in the movie when the main arms articulate into blades, where the NECA figure didn't come with that. So I was really happy to see that with this figure. Alright, so once again, back to the front of the cover. Let's unbox this and see how everything comes out of the package. So, looks like the top just pops up. You pull these snaps apart, and then, okay, slides out like this. And now, here's a look what you get out of that box. So, yeah, you have the Crimson Typhoon with its accessories, you can see. So, it is wrapped in that protective plastic and snapped in this double clear clamshell. Right, front and back. So, yeah, you also get batteries, I guess, for the LED. You get, wow, a couple of them. So I'm assuming he has multiple LEDs. Interesting. I don't see that in the box. And then you get this envelope with, okay, so it's the directions with everything, which is everything's in Chinese. Okay, now here's a quick look at Crimson Typhoon, right? All out of the package with all his accessories, 3 different arms with the blades and the blast effects. I gotta say, this is the most impressive Jaeger I've ever seen as far as detail in a 8-inch scale. He's about 8 inches tall. That's as good as it gets. That's incredible. Wow, look at the detail on that. So, taking a closer look at Crimson Typhoon's sculpt, and, yeah, decals and overall detail. Like I said, it's overwhelming. It's incredible. I love this. The overall color on the armor. It's like a metallic maroon red type color on, I want to say. So check out the head. He always had that weird head design going back to the movie. It's fully articulated. You can spin all the way to the left, right, go down, and back about that far. He does have like those hydraulic pistons on there. Now they don't articulate or move. They're free floating. I thought that was weird with the NECA one too, because in the movie, I think they were like, they connected to this piece down here. It was articulated. When they would move, this would move. Now I guess maybe I shouldn't expect that with something like this, what it's trying to do. But it is all sculpted in there. Now you notice that, so this head does light up, as I already mentioned. I thought it did. And we'll put some batteries in it soon, but I just want to show you. So this front piece looks like it pulls out, and then you're going to pull this piece out and install the batteries. Yeah, I'll do that off camera. I'll show you. Let me just go over the details first. Anyway, so moving down to the chest plate armor. Yeah, you have the paintings for all the kaiju he killed there. You can see all painted on, right, to that side. Has more of those Chinese symbols. Also, the decals on. It says in small letters, Crimson Typhoon. Yeah, look at all the armor plate. It's overwhelming. I don't even know where to start with everything. Got the big Chinese dragon symbol, obviously, the logo on the middle, and then on the big shoulder arm piece on the left side. This piece too articulates, this shoulder arm armor. See that? I can rock back and forth. Yeah, you can see all the circuitry all in the neck there. The vents, the plates. Now, does anything move? I don't think so. He didn't open up in the movie. He was just about, he just, like Eureka Stryker did. He was just basically the arms control with those three brothers. Does any of this stuff move? No, it doesn't look like it. But, yeah, awesome detail. So, let's see. Spinning them around. Let's take a look at the left arm. So, obviously, that's the larger single arm. And that's fully articulated, right? Goes up and down. So this goes, wow, look at the articulation with that. So when this opens up too, okay, so this drops and opens up and allows that arm to go all the way up, down. Can, yeah, spin, go up, excuse me, forward, back. Look at that, rotate all around. It's like on a big ball joint. You can see that inside there. Pretty cool. And it's, I like the way it's hidden too with the larger plates and the overall circuitry. There's the back of that arm. Yeah, more just Crimson Typhoon, Chinese symbols too, all the painting, decals on the back of the plate there. Okay, there's their overall symbol there too on that forearm guard. So this is soft, that's all part of it. All right, there's the back. And then taking a look at the main hand, or the gripping claw. So that's fully articulated too. Can open up all the way and spin, which is pretty cool. All right, you can see the details in there. So you got that big crusher claw. All right, so we looked at the detail with that arm. Let's see, spinning around to the back. Now, this is where those thruster effects are going to go, which I'll put them in soon. Now with that, this also opens up, by the way, and batteries go in that as well. I was looking at that a little bit. Again, the directions are in Chinese, but they do have symbols on them. But see, that opens up, and it's kind of weird. You put one of those batteries inside there, which I'll do soon. And that's how you light it up from what I was looking at. But I don't see no switches. Looks like you put the battery and install pieces, and that's how you get it to light. I guess you take it out when you're finished with it. Because, I don't see a switch. Anyway, yeah, some more symbols back here sculpted on. The kaiju kills. You have those thrusters up top. I guess that's like the nuclear cores or something like that. That powers them. You have these big antenna fins. So you can see all that detail. Pretty cool. You have vents sculpted on. And moving down here, you got this articulated, it's like a giant steel belt piece, but that spins and goes up and down. So I guess it's just like that for your articulation. I guess it's supposed to be all the way up like that. Again, you have another Chinese dragon symbol printed on the back of that as well. Let's see, spinning them back around again. Let's move down to the... All right, let's move over to the arms here. Getting this confusing. So much stuff going on. So yeah, he always had the two right arm, the two small arms on the right side, which I thought was cool with him. And these ones too. So they both look identical as far as the arms. I don't remember with the movie. Yeah, okay, so they're both identical. The arm forward, so as far as the articulation, you can go all the way up, down to the side, right, forward and back. And how far you can go out. Okay, so as far as you can go out, you can see it's like on a little ratchet joint side there, mechanical ratchet joint. Does any of this stuff move? So this armor piece. Okay, so check that out. That's on like a little piston or hydraulic. Oh, cool. Okay, so it comes out like that. And I guess that's... I don't remember that in the movie. I'm just taking a look at that. I guess that was this part of the armor guard. So when it goes up, that allows... Okay, that opens, closes, I guess. That was in the up position to lock, or was just an armor on the arm? I think it's just a piece of armor. All right, anyway, it does move. It's pretty cool. And then the arm also spins when that's deployed like that. And then moving down, you can bend up at the elbow, straighten out at the elbow. Yeah, look at all the details and everything again on this particular arm. There's the inside, the sculpting, the piston. And then moving down, he has a smaller arm. That's, so this can go in or out. Let me see, in or out. And that can also spin as the fingers move. No, the fingers are just sculpted open. They don't open or close, right? And then going back to the other arm, that's all the same, as I already mentioned with this arm. So the articulation up, down, go forward. But it's going to hit this arm unless this arm's always forward. So that's as far as you can go forward. If you see that, it will hit this open plate. Unless, what if this is closed? All right, that's as far as that's going to go. You can go back about that far, all the way up, over the head, which is cool. Right down. Then again, it's the same type of hand as this one. Up, down, rock all around, can spin all around. And then the back's the same. You have, well, look at even this little elbow piece as well. Does that move? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, a lot going on with this guy. So he can spin at the waist. Let's move down, right? Go to the front of the legs. So you look at the legs, even though it's just the detail. Wow, incredible. As far as the articulation, you only go up at that far with the legs because these big plates. He can kick forward. He can go back. You have the double kind of knee joint there, which can go all the way up about this far and back, and then it gets hindered. It gets, by this knee plate that goes in, but even open up. Just the awesome detail with that too. The extra sculpting, the paint, the yellow trim I should mention around everything, as you can see. The other leg's all the same, and then you have this lower leg part that can go up about that far. You even have a piston, operational piston that goes in and out. You can see that. And then when this goes up, it hits the back of this. Right, and the other legs are all the same. And then going down to the foot, this big steel boot. So that can go up and down. It's on a ratchet joint, by the way, and that can rock side to side. And there's a toe move. No, the toes don't move either. And before we go over his accessories and action features, here's a little closer look. You want to just check out details maybe I missed while I was going over the articulation, whatnot. And I thought these things roll forward, but they don't. Actually, this one popped out, this piece, and I pushed it back in. All right, I'm just going to go down the legs, see everything. Yeah, it's amazing how well detailed this thing is. I've already said it a few times. Spin them around back once again. Thing on the arms. Legs. And now, moving forward with Crimson Typhoon's accessories. So, yeah, these are obviously the spinning versions of the mechanical hands or claws that he comes with, right? So we notice the larger one that's going to go on the left side, and then you get the two identical smaller ones for each of the small arms on the right side. So there's a closer look at that. Again, really cool detail. And this is going to plug right in, it looks like. And check that out, it can spin back and forth. Excellent detail on the blades, and yeah, these don't articulate, they're pre-positioned. And then, of course, as already mentioned, these are the smaller ones. They look both identical, I guess. Doesn't matter which side or which arm they go on, but take a look at one. As far as detail, it's the same thing. Excellent detail, paint, right? Blade spins back and forth like this, and you can see this, we're just going to plug in, and this articulates as well. And you get these, the thruster fire effects, we'll call them. You get 3 of these. It's going to go in the back. All identical from what I can see. Translucent orange, right? Pegs, kind of on an angle. And then you get the batteries. You get the 3-volt lithium battery. Now you can see I already removed one. And then you get these smaller ones, the button cell. So what are these? These are 364A alkaline batteries. These are going to go in the headpiece. So once again, taking a look at Crimson Typhoon, let's start changing out his accessories. So I'm going to pull this larger arm off. It's going to pop out like so. And then you can see the symbol will face outward like the other one. Looks like it's just going to push and snap right back into that peg. And now there's a quick look at that setup, right? Same articulation, whole deal. We know that this spins. Looks really cool. And then jumping back to the right-hand side with the dual arms, so you're going to pull these mechanical hands out. Now, these are already heated up with a blow dryer. These are difficult to come out. Now, once I did that, they come out easier. So I got to be careful. Let's pull both of those out. And then, of course, let's bring our alternative spinning hands in. Blades, snap that one on like so. And then I'm bringing the other one in. It's going to go in the back arm, which, again, they look identical. I don't think it matters which arm they go on. And now there's a quick look at that setup. Yeah, again, it's just so cool that they included these spinning blades with this Crimson Typhoon model figure. So, right, we already said these spin. They're both identical. And, yeah, they articulate in and out or can spin up and left to right. And this one we know can, like, just spin back and forth. Can't. There's no articulation. But, yeah, I'm going to keep these on this figure. Maybe I'll keep one of the regular hands in the back just for effect open and leave the spinning blade on this arm and the larger one on this side. So once again, jumping to the back side of Crimson Typhoon, next thing I want to do is plug in all 3 of these thruster fire effects, right? So you can see the 3 ports in the back. It looks like it doesn't matter, and they're supposed to, you can see the angle on a peg there. Now, you can plug these in place, but I want to show you, because there's a battery in this. This whole piece, if you put your finger, like, let's see, back here, or up top maybe. Okay, so it snaps out like that. You see that? And that's where the battery's going to go. Okay, so taking a little closer look at the back of the thrusters here, right? Now I'm flipping it around. You can see how the battery goes in. So I use one of the larger button cell batteries, obviously. You can see, yeah, how I'm inserting it. So it goes in from the bottom and you push it up in position like so. And I wasn't sure how this came on at first. And then messing around with it, and I also went on the line after that because I did it by mistake. It's a magnetic switch. See that? So you can't. You gotta try maybe with scissors to turn on from the outside. Sometimes it'll turn on from the outside, but this has to have contact, I guess, with a small. In this case, I'm using a small metal screwdriver. See that? And then it shuts it off. It works. It doesn't work. It's not perfect, but I believe that's how it's supposed to work. And turn it on and off, or you can remove the battery again with a small screwdriver by pushing through the top like this and sliding the battery out. So flipping the piece back around again, we know the battery's in. Let's put all these booster effects on. Right, you can see the pegs. And I guess you can roll them down, up, whatever way. I'm going to put them in the up position. So I'll put this one in first. Then I'll put the middle one in. And then the last one. So there's a closer look with the thruster pack off the back of Crimson Typhoon. We know the battery's in, and turning the magnet on. See, okay, so the magnet's on. All right, so we have the battery in, power on, thrusters all plugged in. Let's snap it on its back once again. So there's a quick look at that setup, right? Obviously I have the lights on, and yeah, it's okay. Let's shut the lights off and see how bright it glows. Okay, pretty cool. Glows pretty bright in the dark. So once again, jumping back over to the head, right? So we know we have the back on, still glowing, lit up. To put the batteries in this and get this forward head to glow, forward piece, you're going to snap this piece out like so. There sort of is a top and a bottom. I mean, it almost looks identical, I think. Top has some orange highlights, if you can see that. And then you can see inside the main head, this piece is going to, I think it pops, okay, pops out like that. All right, so here's a little closer look at that piece. Came out of the front of the head, and here's these smaller button cell batteries, and it looks like where the circuitry is, the positive, right, the part of that button cell facing outward, it's going to go in like this, and it takes two of those. I give you four. And the other one's going to go behind it. I think I'm right. Like so. All right, see that? And it did come on. All right, it's a good start. And then should be a magnetic. Yep, okay, this one's easier. See that? So I could take the screwdriver between the circuits there, and turn it on and off. So one more time, taking a closer look at Crimson Typhoon's head with this battery pack out. To put this back in, once the batteries are in, there's a little tab on the bottom. So there is a specific way this has to go in, and it should go. Let me see if I have it upside down. Okay, there it goes. See, so it pushes right in. It'll be flat, and then we'll put this plate on with that orange piece. We can see that to the top. And yeah, you got to be careful with this. Have a little patience. There you go. It's going to snap in like that. And let me see if I can turn this on. Nope. I'm sorry. You got to remove this again. Maybe turn it on. Okay, there you go. So, sorry. You got to turn it on, obviously, without this. And put this back on. And that's about it. There's a quick look at that setup, right? So we have the light on the main head. I have all these spinning blades on all the arms except for this one. I did change this out like I said I would, just to have a claw hand. And the back is still glowing, I believe. So let's shut the lights off and see what everything looks like. And that is a quick look with the lights off in the darkness, right? With the front and back glowing. Looks pretty cool. So moving forward with some comparisons. So this is the NECA Crimson Typhoon against the Ling Jihun Crimson Typhoon. That's those two together. Yeah, it's not even a fair comparison. I mean, to be fair, again, this came out years ago when the movie first dropped from NECA. This was like 20 bucks, 20 something dollars. I picked it up in Suncoast, to where this is an 80 or 90 to $100 figure. But it's just like, yeah, in my head, if you're going to collect Jaegers from the Pacific Rim movie, you want them to look like they jumped out of the film and be 7, 8, 9 inches tall, whatnot. This is the way to go. The NECA one, yeah, very dull as far as the armor. I did have the markings, which is cool, on the chest, very identical to that. You can see that, the Chinese dragon symbol. The arms did articulate somewhat, but the claws didn't close. They didn't even spin. This arm did go up and down. Yeah, you can just see all the details on the back, right? Compared to this one, of course, it has the boosters, the light-up effects. I did add a base with little figures on this, somewhat to scale. But yeah, it's not even fair comparison. Anyway, it's those two together. If you're curious, who else made a Crimson Typhoon? It was NECA, and this is the one we have in hand now. So for next comparison, once again, here's our Ling Jihun Crimson Typhoon against the Diamond Select Gypsy Danger from the second movie. Right, so it's those two together. Now him I had to put on a figure stand. I did some custom work with this Gypsy Danger. I painted the chainsaw blade. I also custom made a plasma blast effect at aluminum foil. You can see that, little wires. I plugged it into his main plasma arm, painted it blue. So yeah, it didn't come like that. Did some white effect, extra effects and stuff like that just to spruce them up. But as far as detail and size comparison, that's those two together. So as far as the Jaegers go, in the next comparison, I wanted to bring in the NECA Cherno Alpha against our new Crimson Typhoon. So those two together, they did a good job with him. You know, he's pretty tall next to this one. And yeah, it'd be cool to see Ling Jihun come out with a Cherno Alpha, with this type of detail and lights and stuff, which I'm pretty sure they probably will at some point. And now, once again, moving forward, a couple more comparisons. Of course, we had to bring in some kaiju. NECA is one of the only companies that made, I'd say, half of the kaiju from the first film. So this is the Tachi kaiju creature, which they did a great job on, good scale. And they also had the version with the wings. So that's those two together. And yeah, in the Pacific Rim film, the first one, I believe it was Tachi that took out Crimson Typhoon. I don't remember in that water scene. So that's those two together, but good scale. They really scale good together as far as size. This particular creature, if you're not familiar, this one has all kinds of articulation, a tongue that comes out, which I don't have plugged in. Accessories, your arms move, the tail, all the paint, really good apps on them. But for scale comparison, this particular Crimson Typhoon worked really well against the NECA Tachi, this version, or the one with the wings. So for the next comparison, once again, we have our Crimson Typhoon against the leather neck from also NECA Toys. And now for the next kaiju comparison, I just brought in a NECA Scunner figure, right? So that's those two together. And again, this figure had really good detail, its own unique head, articulation, paint, all good stuff. And then for the last comparison, I just brought in a NECA knife head against our Crimson Typhoon. So that's those two together for scale, size, and whatnot. And yeah, again, NECA did a really good job on this figure. This is the battle damage version. It's basically Scunner, just with a different head and paint, stuff like that. Check that out. And there were, NECA also did have other kaiju out as well. I just brought in a few examples just to show what's out there to scale up against this Crimson Typhoon if you wanted to pick them up or had them. Alright, so that pretty much sums up my review with the new Pacific Rim Crimson Typhoon Jaeger. That's from Ling Jihun Toys. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, I gotta say, if you wanted a Crimson Typhoon model that's 8 inches tall, looked like it jumped out of a movie, with a light up head and features on the back, this is the way to go. It doesn't get any better than that. It's cool to give them the multiple arms with the spinning blades. Again, I like the light up effects. They're a little finicky with that magnetic switch. The headpiece worked good as long as you put the batteries in right. That's it's something you gotta. Yeah, I put mine in backwards originally, but once I put them in the other way, it worked fine. The back with the thrusters a little finicky, but it's one of those things. Excellent detail, apps, paint, the whole deal, articulation. And it's neat that I think he scales really well with the NECA Pacific Rim kaiju figures like Scunner and Knifehead, and they have several others out. And again, that's the only company I know that made some decent kaiju with this size. And you could put them again, scale them up as well with the Diamond Select Jaegers or also NECA, like I just showed one or two. But aside from that, this is the way to go. Now, he was on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store and maybe Entertainment Earth, and it might have sold out. You go on the sites and check if you really want one. And if not, and you have them on pre-order, hopefully ship soon because, yeah, this is just as good as it gets. I'm really happy to get them in hand. So hopefully this video answers everybody's questions. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.